See, go back. Go there. Go there. Follow them. Come here. Remove your hand.
That is so uncalled for, and I don't think anybody should be brutalized in that way for no reason. Actually, the motorcyclist is yet to be an identified individual, and he was plying on that road in the early hours of today, according to the report. And so the policemen were attempting to seize his motorcycle, but the man was quite adamant, and for that reason the police got angered by his reaction, and the only thing they felt they could do was to seize the motorcycle from him forcefully, thereby inflicting some brutality on the person. That's actually, from the video and everything, we are unable to know exactly what transpired between the policeman and the motorcyclist. But at the time of filing this report, we actually reached out to the police SP Benjamin Udeyin in Lagos State, and he is yet to reply messages nor pick his calls. This is what we say about police brutality generally. This was the same thing the angry youth went out for. October 2020 is still a day to be remembered. The NSAS protest was not because of them just wanting to show their shenanigans out there. It was because of things like this. We see police brutalizing citizens, and then we don't hear anything from the police. And then when it comes to the citizens brutalizing the police, then they work so hard at getting whoever or who is the person that has done that thing. A typical example is that of Seun Kuti and the police official. Though I'm not justifying Seun Kuti's action, of course, under no circumstance should you raise your hand to beat the law. Well, then look at what these people have done, because looking at the video that was actually posted by a Twitter handler, Aginas, the policemen actually used one of the rod with them to hit the man, and blood is gushing from the man's head. A lot of people are out there trying to look for their daily means. It's not that they are so happy being a motorcyclist. What joy is there? They do a lot of work under sun, under rain, just to be able to feed and feed their family. So at the point of doing that, he knows that if they should take that motorcycle, the way they even left the scene, it looks like they ran away, right? Now it's just like maybe a thief should stop you, get your motorcycle and run away. That was the way it looks.
We can't even ascertain what transpired between them, and of course, imagine if it was a citizen assaulting a police officer like that. In fact, it would have been a different story. We are actually hearing of the story right now. And then the way they treated the man, I don't know, the man could have actually done something wrong. It could actually be at fault. But regardless of whatever he must have done, number one, even if you were going to seize his motorcycle, which you don't know what made you do that, you are not supposed to beat or hit him. Exactly. And there's a way the law officers, there's a way they work. They don't work like loud. And I'm sorry to say, they don't work that way. There's a way you approach people. There's a way you apprehend offenders. I don't want to call them corporate offenders of the law. There's a way you treat them. But it was just, the whole thing was just like, when they are fighting, the way they've been treating each other. That was the way it was. And then you had to hit the poor man. And then you people now ran up, you zoomed up. Okay, what I know of is when they apprehend people's properties like that, maybe your car or your motorcycle, they would ask you to come to their office or something. But that wasn't even the case. You ran away with it. I don't understand. Or were you trying to steal the motorcycle? Because even if the man has done something wrong, the approach was just so bad, and you hitting him is just out of it. So if the man, see now, they've been calling Benjamin, he did not pick his call, he did not reply his text messages. When Seun Kuti's case came up, IGPT, it was IGPT that gave an order. Exactly. So is Usman
less than 24 hours.
Is Usman Baba trying to tell him that he has not seen this? Or Benjamin does not leave Twitter.
At all.
He does not leave
He sleeps there.
He sleeps there. Even in the midnight, he will reply some tweets. Exactly. So is Benjamin not trying to tell him that he has not seen this video? He does not know anything about this. I mean, that does be hypocritical when it is a citizen attacking a law officer, which is not right. they will start shouting.
And the last time I checked, I think there are laws and rules to all those offenders, motorcyclists and all of that. There is a rule that guides vehicular kind
Where
of
are the FRSC?
Exactly, so let it work. And this actually happened around Ojaoba in Lagos State, and of course, I don't even know what to say to the man, because before he even thinks of going to the station to get his motorcycle, he will first treat himself because the blood is too much. That's actually the height of it. Olokpa, calm down. And Nigerians too, we should also abide by the rules and regulation. But no matter what would happen or transpire, I don't think that is the right thing. Only if I don't know the law. That's the only thing.
And maybe if they had not argued with them, maybe they wouldn't have it in that way. So when a police officer or any officer of the law, when they stop you or when they ask you questions or when they ask anything from, don't argue with them. Because if he was actually shot and he had died, nothing would have happened. Apparently. So if you have any cause to settle with them, don't argue, just obey them. And if you know that they are not treating you and everything will be
this thing that you said, of course, I would have advised that you should not argue. But sometimes I've been a victim. If you behave like a fool in front of police, they would, Oma Dayajai. I don't know, I don't know how to put it that
do.
Because just be able to identify your rights and stand on it. Of course, why will a policeman stop me and be asking me for my gadgets? My phone is supposed to be a personal property. So a policeman will stop me and be like, give me your phone, and I would ask. Now, why will you tell me to bring my phone?
There's a way to go about things like that.
Okay, I cannot bring my phone. You
have to start shouting and all of those things.
They were shouting.
Anyways, what they've done is actually very, very
wrong. It's out of it. So, and I think they should know their place. And SP Benjamin Udeyin, I'm really anticipating your response because I really want you to come counter this. That was not happened. They filmed it, or it was a movie that was showing. Then we should now come to a conclusion. Tinubu Shetima opposed live broadcast of election petition proceedings. If you should recall that around last week when the pre-hearing started off, Atiku and his cohorts actually prayed the court to allow that the whole court proceeding is being broadcasted live. According to him, he said that it is the Nigerians that went to the polling unit to vote their individual. It is the same Nigerians that feel like their mandate has been stolen. For that reason, we should also carry them along to be able to see every proceeding of the court to make sure that the court is not doing anything that is not in line with the whole court's law and guidance. So now, Tinubu and Shetima has come out through their team of lawyers to say that, of course, we understand your grievances, but then, under no circumstance should this happen. And also, if you recall that Atiku and his cohort actually quoted Section 36, subsection 2 of the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 Constitution as amended. And that was actually that the court proceeding could be held in public. But then Tinubu Shetima and their lawyers came out to say it is not like public like the way they are saying it. Of course, it should just be behind like open doors. It will not be like the closed doors. So it's not like they will close the door on the courts the way they do in the normal court proceeding. That is the public that we are talking about, not like streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. So now, and like I've rightly said before, that I feel that what they are praying to the courts is not something quite reasonable. Saying that we should jeopardize the rules and regulation of the law, of the law court rather, just because we want to satisfy our doubts. And also, we should remember that the law court is not a pub, it's not a theater, it's not a Serie A game against FIFA or something, it's not Chelsea Man City game. So, and it is not meant to be a body to entertain audience. Of course, there are journalists within the chambers, the whole courtroom, and they are doing their work. Immediately the court case was adjourned, we got it online immediately. That should tell you that we are being updated on everything happening. So I do not see reasons we should jeopardize the laid down rules or the rules governing an institution because we want to satisfy our own doubts.
Since there's a section or there's a part in the Constitution that actually gives room to the court to make the whole proceeding public. Now it's not like a canopy, not that kind of public. Why I'm just suggesting why can't it be like the doors will be opened. Anybody, or let me say representatives, or anybody that wants to witness the whole proceeding, they should have like a room for them.
Okay.
So during the whole court process and all of those things, they would not transmitting live now, but there will be speakers or something for them to hear, for a larger crowd or a larger number.
Do you now trust Nigerians? Me, I don't trust Nigerians.
No, this is it. If you go to the court, there are rules and regulations guiding, regardless of how you have dangbana choco in your head. When you enter the court, if you do anything, so it's not like it is outside the premises of the court. It will just be you still in the court. That is how
Nigerian can be. They can put their phone and you would not know. You will only see the law, like.
I got those in the room, Gonga.
Oh, you would never. I can.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The same rule that is going to guide.
They can still manage the ones within. Not the one, okay, let me tell you something. The ones within, we've closed the door. If anything's up outside, we go close the door. Oh yeah, all of you. You know, there are people to be held. Somebody can just come, the door is open. Just check from there. Okay, what's bearing? Facebook, yeah, Twitter, yeah. Before you see, you just sit on like, who are they going to pick? And the person might leave.
Anyway.
So that is just to tell you. You see, I do understand the grievances of the opposition party, and I know what they are crying, because Nigerians do not even trust anything. If you look at their reaction with the Guinness World Record and the diversity, they're like, Guinness is just sure. If you do anyhow, you go see anyhow. Well, you said you go create a record.
You will break your own record.
So that's to tell you that Nigerians are ready for the worst. That is why they are also supporting that the whole proceeding should be aired. But I don't feel I want to buy to that.
Now the candid advice I'm just going to give and say is that let's all be calm. Let's trust in the judiciary. Let's trust the journalists to give us the genuine thing. And of course, it's not like the journalists are not giving the genuine news, but it's just like when somebody falls, they will say somebody has died. You know, the way some people, some media houses, the way they
use lexicons.
Exactly. So that's why most people just believe that they can put Aramiri. But regardless, I'm saying regardless, let's just hope that we would get the genuine thing from the court, and whatever it is, it will get to us. So let's just calm down.
Still on the petition tribunal, a lot of drama happened today, and I was very happy I could be able to read them out and know about the drama that happened. And this is about Labour Party faction having clash over a seat in the court. You know, when they were actually saying that this Labour Party does not have a structure, I was part of those people saying that you don't judge a book by its cover. You leave it to work, or at least let's see what they've got. They might actually turn out to be the best. And of course, they did their best at shaking the major political parties during the whole presidential election, all the elections at large. But then, this came out as a shock ever since they started having issue with faction, the Lamidi Apapa faction, the Julius Abure faction, there's one other faction in this state, there's another. So it's been a lot, and their drama has been coming overwhelming. So today in the court, when the Lamidi Apapa faction got there, they actually confronted the Akin Osuntokun, the Director General of the Peter Obi's Presidential Campaign Council, because those one got there and they've already sat down. So when the Lamidi Apapa faction came in, they were like, you're not supposed to sit there, that's our own seat. Because right now, I'm the national chairman of Labour Party. Julius Abure has been suspended. So you don't have any right to sit there with the other factions. It is our faction that is supposed to sit. They fought and they shot. At the end of the day, the secretary to the court, the petition tribunal room, came to them and settled down one for them. As if that was not enough. Okay, Peter Obi should identify himself. Peter Obi now stood up, okay, I identify myself and all of that. Introduce the party. Then the Labour Party national women leader introduced Apapa Bani. You don't say, you do not have the right. You are not, that was not how he said it though. But he fired up immediately that you are not supposed to. You do not have the right because she's not part of their faction. So it actually came so tense and everything was muddled up, and a lot of people were and you cannot disorganize the rulings of the courts. So at the end of the day, they had to work them out, and that leads to another story we'll be talking about. Shame.
Big shame. See, you see Labour Party. When Labour Party came up, I was one of the people that were hoping that yes, at least we would have something to substitute between PDP and APC. Although I am non-partisan, and it was not like I'm still a member of Labour Party or any political party, but I was just trying to let's see some kind of spice. Let's spice this thing, let's give drama, you know. And I was believing in the old Labour Party scheme and all of those things. When they were saying there's no structure, even I was saying, if you come on to my you should at least give them a chance. So if Peter Obi had actually won the presidential election, so the people will be fighting over seats. If we that
was actually what happens in secondary school, in primary schools.
Stand up for my seat.
This is my
seat. This is just like a shame to the party. I wouldn't even say anything less. You get? Because I don't understand. The Labour Party now that they've worked you out of the courts, what would now happen? So the next hearing, you now still get there. See, this is one of the problems when a party has a problem, to now get people to sit and talk. That's why I love APC so much. APC, you would never hear me say, what's alright the PDP, even PDP, they did not do as much as this.
Exactly.
So what structure are you building? What reputation are you giving yourselves? If Peter Obi still remains in Labour Party till 2027, and he says he wants to, campaign. He wants to. These are the references people would make. I mean, this is just so shameful.
And this is an admonition to the Labour Party and every other organization out there that there is nothing that can be done without unison.
Yeah.
When they said together we stand divided we fall, it was not a joke. It really means that when things come together, it tends to achieve greater things than being in isolation. Exactly. And so I feel the Labour Party should go back, sit together, and have some thinking. Look at how you can reform the party so that you can fight harder 2027. I almost forgot to introduce the show. This is News Review brought to you by Wisdom Television. I'm proudly sponsored by Nokwa Abals. I am Ayomiko Alawa, and I have with me in the studio Mofi Folua Odelike. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Wait a pleasure. Police brutality, Labour Party of the six.
It's been a lot. And if you're just joining us, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Wisdom Television, and also on Facebook, Wisdom Online TV, on Twitter at Yard Wisdom, on TikTok, yes, Wisdom Online TV, on Instagram, Wisdom Online TV, on LinkedIn, Wisdom Online TV. You see, it's very easy. Once you just remember Wisdom Online TV, then you can access any of our platforms. Don't even forget that every of these things we are doing are being streamed the same way on every of our social media platforms. Check our YouTube channel, drop your comments, give likes, and don't forget to share, because someone will be learning one or two from what we're doing. Like I rightly said, the show is proudly sponsored by Nokwa Abals. And before we continue, let's go on a short commercial break, after which we'll be right back. Please stay tuned. This is Review brought to you by Wisdom Television, and once again, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, share, follow every of our social media platforms so that you'll be updated. If you cannot do YouTube, you do Facebook. If you cannot do Facebook, do TikTok. If you cannot do TikTok, do Instagram. If Instagram no pay you, go to LinkedIn. Twitter is also there, okay, so we can do this together. And like I already said, the old clash between the Labour Party fighting over seats among several other things led to something else, and that is what I'll be discussing now. Court adjourns the case, the petition of Peter Obi against Tinubu till Friday. And I think that was actually, according to the court, they said it is due to the fact that the parties were unable to finalize on their documents, they were unable to agree on their dissatisfactions, as well as some other issues. So part of some other issue is the Lamidia Papa faction and the Julius Abure faction under Labour Party under Peter Obi. So àwọn ìyẹn ni ó fà á, ó ṣe okùnfà cancellation.
Àwọn ni igi
wọ́rọ́kọ́ tó ń dàgbò. So when people want to say, people will be like, why is the election petition? What? Let me remind you that this is just hearing. They've not even started the hearing at all. It's just like, oh yeah, come together. Let's know what do you want? Why did you come to the court? Okay, I came to the court because I felt like this person slapped me. It's not supposed really okay. When they now hear the two, okay, I feel like this is not a joke. This one, elojoko. Oh yeah, amashite. That is what the pre-hearing is all about. And so they are doing pre-hearing, last one. They are fighting over seats. They are fighting over, and the one that is supposed to introduce the party is not you. So, my people, watch out for more drama from the petition.
Watch out.
Watch out for more drama.
I don't know. The court has actually done the best thing because are they now expecting that the election tribunal will first settle their own party case? If you need the election to settle, the court to settle your own case, charge yourself to court.
This thing is still in court.
See, I don't understand. Labour Party is just, anyways. The court, the major thing here is the court has adjourned the case till Friday. I just hope that before Friday, they would, even if they've not settled it, they would have been sensible enough to come to a compromise, to reach a compromise. Okay, when we get to the court of law, you are the one that will act as the chairman. Okay, don't worry, I will just sit. It's just for us to come to receive our stolen mandate. If at the end of the day, stolen mandate is not but how are they going to?
How are they going to?
So they will break the mandate because it will be of no value to them. Is it the same party that wanting to national? So I don't even want to talk about
a lot of things are actually happening within Labour Party, and I feel it's high time they ironed it for further national progress and unity. Because if you're not fostering harmony from now, when you're just a party, when you don't even have major of the political seats, what happens when you're dominating the entire country?
I mean, they're just baby like babies. The babies.
I'm not the one that said that.
You know, when the normal that would have said that no Labour Party, but right now they're behaving like babies and they're beginning to disgrace me.
One day. Gunmen kill 4 U.S. officials in Anambra. 4 persons suspected to be officials of the United States of America Embassy in Nigeria were feared killed following an attack in Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State. Their mission to the riverine area of Anambra State is yet to be identified, but then it was gathered that the yet to be identified again gunmen actually set the convoy under fire. And Mr. Tochukwu Ikenga, who is the police public relations officer in the state, also confirmed the incident as well as the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria. But in further stories that I read, the police actually condemned the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. convoy that they should have, asked for security beforehand, before entering Anambra. According to he said, please blame U.S. Embassy for not requesting security clearance before entering Anambra. Though till now we don't even know what exactly the U.S. convoy was. Maybe they had a project they were executing or something in Anambra State. But under no circumstance should that be justifiable. Fine, we get it that Nigerians, we are not even secured. And to some extent, we go to the barrack. So we already know where to go. We already know where not to go, where to fly. And the U.S. Embassy too, the U.S. convoy too, I would say they are at fault. You want to enter Ilu Ajeji. Aren't you supposed to ask? But that does not justify the killing. That's to tell you that insecurity in Nigeria is underrated. What we are looking at is just gunmen, Fulani herdsmen, bandits, this and this. It is more than that. You are not even secured as a big person. Like as being an elite. It's not only the poor people or the masses that they are attacking. I don't know what exactly it is that the convoy and all of them in the bus have done to them to take it to that extent that they have to kill them.
So if the police commander say that security, they did not request for security and all of these things. We don't know what the U.S. Embassy actually came to do in Nigeria. What if they actually came for tourism? What if they just felt like, let's just go into Nigeria for kiniko? See, regardless of whatever reason they must have been in Nigeria or in Anambra State, regardless of the fact that they did not request for security backup and all of those things, is Nigeria supposed to be a place where people would even be scared to come into? The level and the way our security agencies, the way they handle insecurity is just like because I don't know how you will be trying to justify the killings. Exactly. And these people, they are unknown gunmen. unknown gunmen, non-Jojumo. I just hope that at the end of the day, whether the US embassy, they said they're already aware of this thing, and I hope that this case will not have to, it shouldn't have effect on Nigeria at the relationship and at the world level, because at the end of the day, they might not even want to partner with us in some certain things. I think you saw that the president-elect is in Bololo, Europe, to go and do some kiniko the best for him. So things like this will not even want to make foreigners, investors, to come and invest in the country, because they know that and what's that? How were you even able to know that it was some unknown gunmen that actually killed them? If it was let's say some villagers, and we don't know what they came to do, and then they attacked them, maybe a defensive attack, we can be justifying that they did not ask for security backup. And even at that, we'll still blame those that are attacking, because you could have questioned them, you could have called on the police or something. So these things are actually not justifiable to me.
More reason the next administration should work so well on the security of the country. Insecurity is one of the things that breed bad economical development.
So much.
If there's no security in the country, if there are bad roads, infrastructure is another thing. But when it comes to insecurity, when people are not secure, they can't trade freely. They can't bring in their companies to the country, to trade and market their goods just for the development of the country. Then it is detrimental to the economic growth of any nation. So and those people that they are calling themselves unknown government, one day, monkey go market, no go come back home.
They say one more money.
Whether they know that, they should know that there is one thing that is called karma. Though people say that there's nothing like karma, but me, I believe that whatever goes up will surely come down. And one day, the way they are inflicting sufferings on Nigeria, God would inflict suffering on them.
Now, see, the truth is, these people are known. They have just decided to make them unknown. So don't let us deceive ourselves. It is not God that will come down to come and arrest them. That's just it.
The government should do better.
Exactly.
Smugglers attack custom officers with charms in Ogun State. A federal high court sitting at Okemoson, Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, has remanded 2 suspected smugglers, Felarun, Oluwasegun, and Fakore, in a correctional facility for attacking operatives of the Ikeja Zone A Federal Operation Unit of Nigeria Customs Service with charms and horsewhip. According to the story, they were actually apprehended, or they were actually stopped because they were carrying some contraband. So it was actually some bags of rice, around 67, and there are some other things they are doing. They felt like they are not supposed to bring into the country because it was not part of the rules and regulation. So in attack, in reaction, they decided, they carry charm, commode, all sweep and everything. But my own thing is that, you see those customs, to themselves, they don't chop something under this thing. Because if not because of that, the charm would have been effective. But God will have it in their way. The charm was not effective, and so so they were actually able to apprehend them and take them to their custody and proceeded to the court. So the court has actually arraigned them and said that they should be remanded in the correctional facility. Similarly, in the other case, there are some other people too that were their case was adjourned, ruling on bail application. 3 of them actually forged the customs documents, the document of the custom organization that is supposed to accept their pass. They are supposed to tender some pass that, okay, this is what we got from custom to be able to bring in this thing. So they forged the documents just to be able to pass. But on identification of the fact that it was forged, they arrested them too and took them to court. But then the court has adjourned the case till May 24, 2023. But before the adjustments, they actually prayed that they grant them bail. Why? But the custom official said they cannot be granted bail because these people, they have other perpetrators, and these perpetrators are still at large. For that reason, if we should leave them, they can actually jeopardize the whole investigation, and at some point, the court might actually have to see reasons to back them up because they would have done all the fine-tuning and all of that. So to avoid that, they should be detained, not be given permission. And this is now me saying it once again that anything that is contraband, don't indulge in buying or selling it. We know that there are some things that are not allowed into the country, and if they are to be allowed into the country, follow the right procedures. I get it that it takes another money, it's a lot of money. I get it that it takes another stress. I guess that sometimes you might not even get your goods at the right time, but let us follow the due procedure. Don't let us just be in haste to make money and we want to bring in things that are not accepted, and at the end of the day getting ourselves into trouble and even going as far as getting charms.
What I'm gonna say is basically, you see, even these customs, I don't want to justify the smugglers here. I'm not going to justify the actions. They've actually done very, very bad. But these people too, because most times we have a very long list of things that are not supposed to be brought into the country. But it is these custom officers that would actually give them the pass. Oh yeah, they will do all those alien and give them thieves. Thieves that cannot last them for a day. They will give them and smuggle those things in. So at the point of where, you see, the only reason, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say the only reason, maybe the tip they are giving the custom officers are just too small. That kind of thing. So if not because of the fact that these custom officers are also to be blamed with how they help these people to smuggle things in, I wouldn't even be saying these things I'm saying. But the point is, the smugglers here, they are smugglers, and at the end of the day they will be the ones to be blamed. If they now get to court and they now explain that we're trying to bribe, or we would know. But if there is no case like that, that means they are going to be blamed and they will be the ones at the receiving end. But my point is, even the customs, they have their own roles to play.
Based on what you just said now reminds me of something. That I was talking about a particular person that forged the documents. How were they able to get the documentation? How were they able to forge the document? And they passed every other border with that same document. It's now getting to maybe the last destination to enter Abeokuta or wherever it is that they are going to, that they caught them. So if you are a mole within the custom officers' services, I feel it's high time you repent. Because if you are talking about, that's why I will always say it again. If you are saying that Nigeria is bad, leaders are this, Kidiko are that, we will see ourselves, individual, our land sharawa. We will say that leaders are bad, but you too, in that office you are heading, if somebody does not pay you some level of bribe, you would not allow them see the oga, and you are a mere secretary. In that office you are the one that will sign for some NYSC students or be NYSC core members. If you don't get them to buy you minerals, you will not sign. So that is you. And when you will say anything, you say Nigeria is bad, Buhari, so what you are doing is also bad. You are also part of the destruction of the country. So if you don't stop, you don't have any right to blame any government official. Though the government officials, so they have their own. Because when we talk about bribery and corruption, everything that we are practicing at the grassroots is just
actually
a toy, it's a play. But when you go to those people up there, they do international fraud. That's what they are doing. So we also need to be able to work towards the development of the country in our own space. So that is me saying back to the custom officials, if you know you are the ones that you are helping them to smuggle things, and this rise of a thing, I'm still baffled, and I always ask this question. They said that we should not eat this type of rice, the imported rice. And are you trying to tell me that Buhari has been eating the Nigerian rice?
When was the last time you ate rice?
I have not been eating rice because I've been working on my diet.
What did
vegetarian?
I would actually see. Okay, you that you are watching. When was the last time you ate rice? Did you eat Nigerian rice?
Exactly. So how are these rice coming in? But when the rice is exactly. You keep on telling us, don't do this, don't do that. But at the end of the day, you are looting us.
What is she what that say? But sincerely speaking, these people, that was why I had to say that I'm going to blame the custom officers. And sincerely speaking, not the custom officers on duty now, because if they don't receive order, they wouldn't act. Even the officers at the offices, not the one at the offices now, the organs, this thing is just levels by levels. So that's just the way it is.
Okay, thank you very much for being a part of News Review today. It's been an amazing, insightful, educating, informating, and entertaining one on Wisdom Yard Television. You should not forget to subscribe to our channel, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. Make sure you're following on every of our platforms so you can be carried along on information as it breaks. So today we've been able to identify a lot of things. We started off with the police brutality with the Okada rider we showed with the video, and we also talked about the gunmen killing some set of US convoy in Anambra State. And we also talked about the fact that the court has adjourned the case of the petition of Peter Obi against Tinubu till May 20, Friday this week. And we also talked about the fight between the Labour Party fighting over a seat in the law court because they want to sit down and someone else has sat down on it, disrupting the whole process of the court. We also talk about the smugglers that actually attacked the custom officials with charms just because they can pass. And lastly, I just want to admonish us, the police out there should not brutalize individual, and wherever you are meeting yourself, make sure that you are doing the right thing by the law. Be law abiders so you don't become a victim of police brutality. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining me today on the show. Until next time we'll be doing this, I remain Ayomiko Alao.